Hey, thanks for coming, everyone. I'm Pat Hyde, I'm Director of Public Works, and just wanted to give everybody a bit of an overview as to what's happening because the weather conditions, as we all are well aware, has changed over the last few days. We've gone from freezing cold to melting conditions. So the roads, in terms of the snow, we're continuing with priority 1, priority 2, 3 maintenance, although there's very little of that to be doing right now because the roads are in excellent shape in the priority streets. What we're focusing on right now is the residential areas and dealing with trouble spots as they arise, as we get complaints, concerns regarding those, as well as we have crews out that are going through residential streets and identifying areas that need attention and addressing those as well. In terms of the numbers of complaints, we've had about 200 calls for service, a little over 200 calls for service when considering the size of the city and the amount of snow that we've had in the last few weeks. That's actually very good. The numbers are quite low in that regard, but doesn't mean that there's no more trouble spots than that, but we know there is, and we're addressing those, and we're looking for them and identifying. And in terms of snow maintenance as well, we've done a number of other things. The Circle Drive snow train, in fact, we activated this week, and that cleared all the snow from the protective barriers on the bridges and overpasses, and that was completed last night. We also had, we've done snow loadouts in the business improvement districts as well as on some of the priority 1 streets. And that's simply on the priority streets to make room for snow storage because we know we're going to get snow again. I mean, it's only the middle of December. And so far we've hauled about 1,100 truckloads of snow. The snow storage sites have been very active as well. Contractors as well are hauling snow from various locations across the city and keeping those actively engaged. We're dealing with catch basins right now because we do have ponding water on the streets as a result of the melt, and so we have to address those. Some catch basins are flowing well and others are a little plugged and frozen, so we have to clear those and get rid of some of the standing water. The sidewalks are in pretty good shape. There are some icing conditions where snow has melted and created some freezing conditions there, but we're addressing those, and the crews are out looking after the pathways and sidewalks. And bridges itself, those were cleared off earlier last week, and those remain in good condition as well. So overall, we're doing very well in terms of the response that is required for the snow melt that's happening, but it's not the same kind of a situation that we experienced. As an example, this past January, we had some melting conditions, and then the temperatures dropped drastically and created some severe ice ridging. And we all remember what happened in spring of 2013. We had the same kind of conditions, but it was much deeper snowpack. Right now, what we're seeing is a minimization of the snowpack on the streets with the melting that's been sustained over the last few days. We're seeing as much as a 50 to 60% reduction in some of the snow areas. In fact, some areas are down to bare pavement, and I'm talking in some of the residential streets. Where the areas that are the biggest concern that we've noticed is entrances to crescents, intersections, that sort of thing, where cars are turning and churning up the snowpack, and it's creating some slushy conditions there. And what we want to make sure we're trying to get as many of those as possible. We address that. Those slush ridges, if you want to call it that, so when temperatures do drop, they won't create a problem area for motorists. The good thing about it is the long-range forecast for the next 2 weeks is temperatures will be dropping over the weekend, but they're not dropping drastically. We're only talking highs even during the day of -2, -3, and that sort. So it's not going to be a problematic issue, and it'll allow us to continue the process we're doing in dealing with the snowpack and as well any problem situations or trouble spots that arise as well. So that's where we're at.